I've been a nostalgic person ever since I was a little kid, so naturally callbacks are my favorite storytelling tool. They allow for audiences to make immediate connections between themes and events, forcing audiences to recall where characters were compared to where they are now, and who they are now. My favorite example of a callback in the Halo trilogy is near the end of Halo 3, when Master Chief Petty Officer Spartan 117 rescues the AI Cortana from capture, a moment that is building up since the end of Halo 2. At the beginning of Halo 1, Captain Keyes tasked the Master Chief with getting Cortana off the UNSC Pillar of Autumn to keep her away from alien hands.
Keep her safe from the enemy. If they capture her, they'll learn everything. Force deployment, weapons research, Earth.
I understand.
Good luck, Master Chief.
Your architecture isn't much different from the Autumn's.
Don't get any funny ideas.
Then, when the player takes enough damage that he loses his shield, Cortana shouts,
Keep your head down, there's two of us in here now, remember?
This line is called back to in Halo 3.
Got an escape plan?
Thought I'd try shooting my way out. Mix things up a little.
Just keep your head down. There's two of us in here now, remember?
Callbacks like this to previous games, and even books, are all over Halo 3. However, these kinds of callbacks are not what I'm focusing on today. Instead, I want to look at the pattern of Halo's story going full circle, always leading back to where it began. If you're unfamiliar with the series, the story is a very easy concept to understand. Here's the gist. An alliance of aliens known as the Covenant are attacking humanity. The aliens worship a gigantic ring world structure they call Halo. Halo is some kind of super weapon, and maybe humanity could turn the tides of the war if they could use Halo against the Covenant. Both sides in this war have no idea how wrong they are about Halo. When it came to the design of the story and mission structure of the first game, actually titled Halo Combat Evolved, the developers at Bungie made some choices some might consider a lazy cop-out, but we'll just consider it an efficient reuse of assets. The game starts out fighting to escape the Pillar of Autumn, leads to the surface of the Halo Ring, aboard a Covenant cruiser to rescue Captain Keyes, to a remote island, to some snowy plains, and finally up a pyramid-like structure that leads to Halo's control room. This reaches the midpoint of the game that changes everything.
Stay close, Jenkins! Mendoza, move it up!
Which is weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the insides.
Wait. No, that can't be. Oh, those Covenant fools. They must have known. There must have been signs.
Right, well, let's get this door open.
I'll try, sir. But it looks like these Covenant worked pretty hard to lock it down.
Just do it, son.
Captain, we've got to stop the captain.
Keys? What do
With
we...
no time. Get out of here, find Keyes, stop him. Before it's too late!
He's got contact! Lots of them! What? They're not Covenant! They're...
Sergeant, we're sorry.
Greetings. I am the monitor of Installation 04. Someone has released the flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
Oh, really? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes. Activate Halo's defenses and destroy the Flood.
Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life. You don't believe me? Ask him.
Is it true?
More or less. Once the others follow suit, this galaxy will be quite devoid of life. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Get us out of here.
After 2 very unique missions, the game picks up in the control room and proceeds to go back through recent locations in full reverse. Heading out of the control room, Chief heads back down the pyramid, back across the exact same snowy playplace, to the same Covenant ship to rescue Captain Keyes, back to the Pillar of Autumn, and fights to escape the Pillar of Autumn, with the game ending on the same shot of the Milky Way we were introduced with.
Halo, it's finished.
No. I think we're just getting started.
Halo 2 continues this theme. The story concept for Halo 2 was to have the player start on Earth.
So, Johnson, when you gonna tell me how you made it back home in one piece?
Sorry, Gons. It's classified.
My ass!
Go on this long adventure across the universe.
Where would someone go to activate the other rings?
Why the Ark, of course.
And where, Oracle, is that?
And end with multiple missions back at Earth, finishing both the war and the story.
Unknown classification. It isn't one of ours. Take it out.
This is Spartan 117.
Can anyone hear me? Over.
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
However, Halo 2 was cut short due to development issues. So while the Master Chief does arrive back at Earth at the end of the game, the story picks back up in Halo 3.
What about Halo?
We stopped it, but only temporarily. Now the Prophet of Truth is looking for something called the Ark, where he'll be able to fire all the Halo rings. If he succeeds, humanity, the Covenant, every sentient being in the galaxy.
The rings will kill us all.
Ma'am, I have more.
Halo 3 starts with a shot of Mount Kilimanjaro with the ship Master Chief is on entering Earth's atmosphere. This jungle is where the first mission takes place, and Kilimanjaro is regularly in clear view. Halo 3 then ends on the now destroyed plains at Kilimanjaro, with this shot of the mountain used as the background to Bungie's "Thank you for playing" message. This, however, is the smallest example Halo 3 has to offer of returning to where we started. I want to take a detour first into one of the most important parts of the Halo series. With the larger budget, audio director and Halo composer Martin O'Donnell wanted to bring back multiple tracks from the first 2 games and give them full orchestral renditions. Marty recognized that the use of these old tracks would be like callbacks, immediately bringing back emotions and memories from when these tracks were heard before. He calls the strategy of using pieces this way emotional equity, with the value of each track being found both in being great music and with what they mean to the listener.
And then the rest of it sort of came along. When it swells, everyone said their hairs on their back of the neck stood up.
He uses this tool in Halo 3 immediately, with this new version, and my personal favorite version, of the menu music from Halo 1. The full Halo theme from the original Halo reveal back in 1999 consists of this structure. It starts with the monk chant that's used in the main menu, followed by an action piece using strings and percussion, and ends by repeating the monk chant. The monk chant has 4 measures and starts and ends on the same note. The last measure in particular does the same. This monk chant is also considered the theme of the Halo you play on and destroy in Combat Evolved, which its monitor calls Installation 04.
Oh, hello.
The humans just refer to that ring as Alpha Halo. Near the end of Halo 3, a near identical replacement for Alpha Halo has nearly finished construction. The loading screens to Halo 3 that show Halo being constructed has been leading to this moment whether the player had noticed or not. So at the end of the trilogy, when you land on this familiar ring, the game pops up an appropriate chapter title. Full circle. Throughout Halo 3, there are skulls hidden around the levels that you can find and carry around. Each skull unlocks a modifier that you can activate from the main menu. Most of the time, these just make the game harder in some way. The hardest skull to find is locked behind a puzzle in the Ark's control room. There are holograms depicting each of the Halo rings, and they all light up when they are activated, besides 04, which isn't quite ready yet. Each of these rings gives off a tone, with 7 being the lowest in pitch and 1 being the highest. The puzzle to unlock the skull requires you to jump through these hoops in a specific order. The tones of the order you jump them plays the last measure of the Alpha Halo theme. Because the last measure starts and ends with the same note, the first and last rings of the puzzle start and end with Installation 04, as does Halo as a series.
How about the final phrase? Starts on tonic, ends on tonic, 7 notes, that's the one.
One last thing about the return to Alpha Halo is during the driving section at the end. The first mission that Bungie ever put together was the mission The Silent Cartographer, which all takes place on this little island and makes for a good play space for testing. The last playable area in Halo 3 is this exact island they started with. The secret ending of Halo 3 that's unlocked if you beat the game on the hardest difficulty also calls back to the first game with this line.
But you did it. Truth and the Covenant, the Flood, it's finished.
It's finished.
And finally, we end with Master Chief entering a cryotube, back where we first found him. With the end of the story, but still 3 years left in Bungie's 10-year contract with Halo, which had been bought by Microsoft and made an Xbox exclusive early on, Bungie made 2 prequel games. The first was Halo 3 ODST, a game meant to be a large DLC expansion for Halo 3, but turned into its own game at the demand of Microsoft. The game itself has what's called a cyclical narrative. The game starts off at night 6 hours after the first cutscene, and the game uses flashbacks to work its way back to nighttime to meet you where you started. Continuing with our theme, the day-night cycle involves the circular rotation of the Earth. And throughout the game, there's a reference to Bungie's next series about a big white circle. And now Bungie's next series after that will be circling back to Marathon, the old series from before Halo, whose logo that is seen throughout the Halo games is just a circle within a circle. The last Halo game was a prequel spin-off set before the events of Halo 1. Being a spin-off, Bungie took extra liberties to the Halo gameplay design and tone, showcasing these features in a trailer taking place on a beach, just like the starting fight of the Silent Cartographer, though of course now with a vastly higher production value.
Target is compromised.
Like ODST, Halo Reach has a cyclical narrative, but in a much more traditional fashion. Halo Reach had a cool feature where you could design how the main character looked. To start off the narrative, you see the helmet you chose broken in the sand. After the title card, you're holding the helmet in your hands. This game too comes full circle when the future you saw comes true at the end of the game. This game goes further full circle than beyond itself though, ending all the way back to where Halo 1 began, with Captain Keyes at the Pillar of Autumn. Wrapping things up with Bungie's last goodbye message in-game, the game replays the first part of Halo 1's first cutscene, leading us back to Alpha Halo. The multiplayer, the next step to go after the story, continues this. Booting up the map editor mode with its massive new dedicated map, the game brings you back to the surface of the ring. Halo as a game, as a platform, a way for people to create and spend time together, was really an experience like no other. With no game even close to like it, me and my brothers, my friends, and countless others can't help but continue to come back around to play Halo.